What's up, YouTube? Welcome to the Derek Ruby Show. I am the previously mentioned host, Derek Ruby, and here we are for episode 5, talking about SummerSlam 2016. Fair warning, if you don't want spoilers, well, just listen anyway, because there will be spoilers. So, SummerSlam 2016. This is the 29th SummerSlam, held at the Barclays Center. The opening contest was between Chris Jericho, Kevin Owens against Enzo and Cass. We had Enzo and Cass out there sucking up to New York for a few minutes, doing their shtick. And then we had a pretty good competitive opening contest, which ended with a pop-up code breaker. It was executed kind of poorly, but it was very inventive. And so Chris Jericho and Kevin Owens pick up the win. Then we had Charlotte wrestle Sasha Banks. And this was kind of crazy because at one point Charlotte dropped Sasha from the top rope and looked like she just dropped her on her head. Then even about 30 seconds later or so, she picked her up over her head and dropped her again. And the match ended with a Banks statement being rolled up into a pin. So Sasha is your new WWE Women's Champion. So then we have The Miz versus Apollo Crews for the Intercontinental title. Not very much going on here. It was a decent match. The Miz ended it with a skull-crushing finale to keep the championship. Then we had what I would like to call the match of the evening, AJ Styles versus John Cena. And this was a hell of a contest. It went back and forth. John Cena did the AA from the top rope. And then at one point it looked like he may win. But then AJ Styles countered into a Styles Clash, gave the phenomenal forearm. And then the wonderful announcing skills of JBL gave away the finish of the match because as the ref was about 2, he counts about 1, 2, and then JBL says, well, the phenomenal AJ Styles just beat John Cena. Good job, JBL. Then we have Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson as they wrestled the New Day. And the New Day had Jon Stewart as an extra member to be in Big E's place. Jon Stewart interfered in the match. Big E did a run-in, came back, attacked Carl Anderson and Luke Gallows, and then they were disqualified. So Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson win. Club wins, but New Day is still the champions, keeping their year-long reign going. Then we had Dean Ambrose against Dolph Ziggler. It's a very sad day when we have the WWE Championship being defended in the middle of the second biggest show of the year. Shout out to Jonathan, by the way, whose heart's broken because Dolph Ziggler was defeated by Dean Ambrose with the Dirty Deeds. One Dirty Deeds, mind you, was actually a match where the finisher actually finished the match. Surprise. So Natalya, Alexa Bliss, and what was supposed to be Eva Marie were supposed to wrestle Carmella, Becky Lynch, and who I like to call Rubik's Cube, Naomi. And before the match started, they played Eva Marie's music, who is suspended right now, and gave everybody a little tease like she was going to be there. So I was really sad when she didn't show up and I didn't get to see those big tits. But then I got to see the sweetest ass in WWE come back as Nikki Bella took her place. And then the match went on, and then Nikki Bella defeated Carmella at the end of the match to get the win. Now, if I was Nikki, I wouldn't have wanted to be in the ring with Carmella coming off of neck surgery because Carmella really looked like she was out of place. But overall, it was a pretty good filler match. Then we had the WWE Universal Championship match, which the belt looks horrible. I mean, they showed a close-up of this belt, and the people booed. And when they announced what the match was for, that this match was for the Universal Championship, people booed because this belt just basically looks like a copy of the WWE title with except it's red. So basically, instead of the Raw brand being inventive and coming up with something new, they just basically made a copy. It would be like SmackDown having Coca-Cola and then Raw coming out with, instead of coming out with Pepsi or Dr. Pepper or something of that nature, they came out with H-E-B Cola. So it was pretty disappointing. But Finn Balor and Seth Rollins, they had a really good match. And at the end of the match, Finn Balor won, and he is now the first Universal Heavyweight Champion, in which Michael Cole says that Seth Rollins was the first man to be an NXT and World Heavyweight Champion, and now Finn Balor is the second. So WWE is going to try to push this title as a real big deal, but in the eyes of the fans, it's always going to be a second-rate carbon copy of the WWE Championship. Then we were supposed to have Rusev versus Roman Reigns. This match really didn't take place because Rusev attacked Roman Reigns and then Roman put a beat down on him for a few minutes. The only thing that was surprising about this little skirmish was that the fans really didn't boo too much, and there was actually a little bit of cheers for Roman. So I think things are going a little better for him, and people are accepting him a little more than they were, say, a few months ago, probably because he's not on top. So then we had the main event, that Brock Lesnar versus Randy Orton. This is the second year in a row that Brock Lesnar got to be the main event for SummerSlam with no title match. And this match was okay. It went on, and then it abruptly stopped as Randy Orton got busted open. Now, I don't know if this was a blade job gone bad or if he really got busted open, but he was bleeding very, very seriously, and Brock Lesnar just continued to pummel him after the referees are trying to check on him. So I don't know if this is part of the story or not, but they did stop the match. It did abruptly seem like it was over, and it was a little surprising. But overall, obviously Brock Lesnar was not going to be punished for his little drug violation. A lot of people thought that he might be and that he might lose this contest, but they don't realize that Brock Lesnar does not care about winning or losing. Brock Lesnar only cares about getting paid. So overall, SummerSlam 2016 was a pretty good show. It felt like it dragged on a little bit, but that's probably because of how long it was. So I would have to say that this whole show was probably 3 stars. So thank you for listening to the Derek Ruby Show. You can follow me on Twitter at Derek Ruby Show. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.